You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Hello and welcome back to the episode of James Shares. Hey James.
Hey, how's it going?
Where's the different language greeting?
I can't think. I only know bonjour and aloha and kia ora.
Thrown out of greetings. Awesome. James, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about why building is a good idea.
Building to live in or building to rent out?
Ooh, building to rent out, I think we should start with.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Okay, so why would you build a property to rent out? What do you think makes that a good idea?
Well, if anybody's been listening to our previous podcast, it's all about making money from the investment side of the cash flow quadrant. So if you've built a new property, there's a lot of favourable things that you can get. For example,
such as?
You can get a very good rent on a new property.
Okay.
Like I'd be guesstimating here about, what would you say, $1,500 a month or something like that in a basic place in Kapiti Coast?
Oof, no, way more than that.
Would it? Okay.
Way more than that. I think our rents at the moment are sitting between $650 to $700 and above per week.
Okay, well that's even better.
Per week. Yeah.
Okay.
So, a new build will definitely attract more. But from the investment point of view, some investors may get a little bit touchy-feely and go, I don't want them to ruin a new build. What do you reckon about that?
That's a really good question. Well, I guess you'd have property managers, wouldn't you, to run it for you?
Hopefully. And if people listen to some of our property manager podcasts that we've done, having a property manager is definitely a good idea. Having
the right property manager?
The right one, that's the key.
Someone that's actually going to do what they're supposed to be doing, otherwise you may as well do it yourself.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, and then in terms of repairs, what do you think?
Well, it's going to be much lower maintenance, isn't it? You're not going to have the same costs as you would on an older building.
Yeah. Did you know, just this month I spent about $2,000 on repairs across a few of my rental properties.
Wow.
One was leaking sink. The other one was broken window latches.
Yeah.
And the other one was something else. So, and again, it's due to the age of the properties.
Yeah.
So if they were new builds, I probably wouldn't have the same issue.
Exactly. And I mean, that takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? You've got these rental properties that are supposed to be making you all this money, but it's costing you just as much to maintain them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I had a rental property as a new build. That was actually one of the first properties I built for us to live in. And then when we built the next house, we moved out and we left our new build as a rental and definitely had far less issues with it versus the current properties I have that are slightly older properties that, 30, 50 years old.
And what do you think about the owners of these new properties? How do you think they would feel about renting their new buildings out as opposed to living in them? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there a concern that there's such a beautiful building, I don't want it wrecked by a client, by a
tenant?
Tenant.
Exactly. And I guess this is where it comes down. The investment is an investment. You don't put your heart into it in a way. You treat it as an investment. You look at the numbers. Will the new build provide you with greater return? Are there tax benefits?
Yeah.
If there are any, on a resale, are you going to still make money if you have to resell down the track in 5 years' time? And also when you build a new one, as we just talked about, there's a 10-year must-build warranty, usually. Depends who the builder is, especially if you're buying it off the builder or you're doing like a turnkey build. So there are lots of different benefits to building versus buying an existing stock, I would assume. If you remove the emotion out of the investment, I think that's the key.
You don't need as big a deposit either, do you?
No, that's a
20%
really...
20% or 30%?
Yeah. You can actually get away with 15.
Wow. Okay.
1.5. With 15%.
On a new build?
On a new build, yeah. So we've got a young lad at the moment. He's looking to build a property as well as an investment one. And I think it's fantastic because he's in the industry. He knows the builders. He knows the developers. He knows whatever he'll build will be of good quality. And at the end of the day, you also want to provide people with somewhere nice to live.
Yep.
You don't want to be slum lord in a way. You don't want to provide something that will be substandard.
Well, and you're going to attract better tenants.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Like people that are going to look after the place, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And there are so many new builds across the country at the moment. I mean, Christchurch was absolutely saturated with them.
Yeah.
At some point they built way too much in Christchurch. So looking in the regions like Kaipoi and, a few other places could be a good idea. But yeah, I would really recommend to people jumping on TradeMe, having a look, or homes.co.nz, etc.
Yeah.
And seeing, because new build as an investment property could be a good idea.
And let's say if I build one of these new properties and then in a couple of years I want to flick it off. At what point do I have to pay tax on it?
Sorry, James, cannot give you this advice. You'll have to see your accountant for some tax advice there. But yeah, there's definitely slightly different rules applied to new builds versus older stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remember, for the bank, in order for it to be considered a new build and be exempt, you have to buy it either from the developer or from the builder. But if you're buying it from Bob, who already bought it from the developer, and Bob is on selling it to you, that's not considered to be new build. It's considered to be secondhand.
Okay.
Even though Bob never lived in it, and even though it's just finishing off to be built, the bank will view it, you're buying it off secondhand.
Yeah, so you don't get all those same benefits.
Correct. So something to look out for those that are listening to this, because this is where we found some of our clients getting caught out, is buying it off the builder versus buying off Bob, who bought it off the builder.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hopefully it makes sense.
Absolutely does.
Awesome. So thank you, James. This was a very, very important topic to cover off, and see you next time.
Absolutely. See ya.
Bye. And that's a wrap on that Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.